Sessions at Sunrise, a way to begin every morning. Most mornings, I'm up to see the sun. I'm used to thinking and feeling in words. Living in words, my world is living and the world is living me. I wonder what will animate me today or what will go away. I find myself in the realm of a hope dealer. I have no suit to put on, just learning to be me, not fancy, just a lot clearer. Am I doing all I can to preserve great leaders? Am I doing all I can to bring great parents to children and great leaders to organizations? I ask the emerging sunrise to release me from shunning the mystery. The world does not have to be beautiful to work, but it is. So let's meet it where it is, pay close attention to things, and see possibility. Welcome to Sessions at Sunrise.
Great businesses start with great people. We work on outstanding people, successful entrepreneurs, leaders of teams and organizations that are looking to change lives. Their eulogy values are such that they want to make a big contribution, not only in their own lives and how they spend their time outside work, how they influence others, love others, give what they're given, but transmit that to the business, the quality of the relationships in the business that they conduct. These are great leaders. These are high-level performance leaders. And my deepest aspirations are to take that outstanding person. Now, what is that outstanding person to a great business? How do we build them? What do they conserve? Well, I think one thing is they conserve a high level of potency in their ability to create. My aspiration is to build reliable creators. Reliable. What does that mean? Reliable means they have underlying structures that are properly set and positioned for them to create what they want. It suggests that the underlying structure is the most influential quality positioning the creative process. In fact, the creative process is a structure. It's called structural tension, and the components that fit together that give rise to the resolution that creating involves is a desired state, an outcome, a goal, juxtaposed to a current state, and then a course of action that resolves the tension between the two. And the tension between the two is brought forth by the opposition in the two. The actual balancing system is in the very difference between the 2 points. When you want something, you compare it to what you have now and the actual state of it, the stage, the progression of it, and the difference actually animates, catalyzes, arms the motor, the engine of what action really means on behalf of an outcome. When you act on behalf of an outcome, you are creating. You're bringing something you desire into being. You love it, and then you create it. And this generative orientation is living in the creative. It's living in the creative orientation where the leader is positioned to create what matters to them. What matters to you is the subject matter of the creative process. What matters to you is not chosen by what you already know. You may know you want it, but you don't need to know how to create it to justify what matters to you. You first say yes, and then you learn how. And that inspires all sorts of movement, experimentation, learning, and mistakes. Yeah. And so we coach leaders on how to take their identity out of that process. And what they do is they can learn. Because when you take everything personal, it short circuits your ability to really use the current reality constructively. Yeah, we have to reflect on the action. Because you're going to go out and do something, learn how to create it. You're going to stretch, get a lot of new feedback, gain a lot of new resources, build capacity, and in doing so, you move the current state towards the desired state. How you hold tension is the most important thing. How you hold space is the most important leadership trait of the 21st century. It is. Because the conditions are the conditions. You're not becoming an executive tough leader. There's no reason to be anything. You naturally build in the toughness by creating over and over and over again. You go after creations, you create them, you learn by doing them, and then you set out for another one. And this cycle, this momentum that begins to build, starts to build up a fortitude, a sort of tolerance for emotional tension. Emotional tension is the other quality that arises when we create, because we have things that don't work. We have frustrations and setbacks. So how do we organize out of the dominant motivation that we have for the future while we're going through the pain and some of the suffering that is inevitable, the love-hate relationship that the creative process brings? We must learn how to learn from what it is that we don't want and what it is that we do. But what it is that we don't want isn't necessarily a problem to solve per se, but they're just conditions that are unpleasant, foul-smelling, wretched, all that, and we didn't order them on the menu. And then the serendipities of life come in, and then there's death, and then there's illness, and then there's negativity, and then there's people with agendas, and then there's all that. So our life isn't about a protest. It's not about protection. We're not there to eliminate what it is that we do not want. But we should be aware as we observe the current reality that we have. Good, bad, ugly, all sides of it. Look at it directly. Observe it. Learn how to observe unconditionally. You have to be coached on that. How you do that is by suspending your automatic mind stuff. And to do that, you have to be aware of your automatic mind stuff. We all have mental models. We all have mental constructs. Time is a mental construct of the world to avoid being controlled by it. Your positions on things, worldviews, generalizations, assumptions, fears, expectations, they all come from the past. That's your database. It's fine. We are accumulators. We need memory. We need memory to make sense of certain things. We need memory to reduce our battery power so we can take care of stuff that we can automatically do. Tie our shoes, put on our coat, brush our teeth, drive a car, write out an essay, communicate what we want. We have habits, we have behaviors, we have propensities to do things a certain way because we store up those know-hows and we stock them. The problem is when they are over-relied upon to a degree that we do not have accurate data to support what we think is true. We construe fiction as fact, myth. And this is self-betrayal because we believe everything we believe. And this is to live in a state of lack of awareness, unawareness, not being keenly aware of what we see, how we editorialize our lives, how we see our opinions of things rather than see things as they are. So the discipline of this is very simply seeing. It isn't downloading, it's seeing. Seeing things as they are, seeing others as they are, seeing the world as it is. And one of those things that leaders learn to do in being the outstanding person that they are, not to suggest that they're not an outstanding person, but to position themselves to reliably create what they're after, is to consistently live outside the hypnosis or the trance, the context of their own mental construction, and to give themselves good access to the facts, the truth, to see things objectively, even when stuff is difficult to see. We don't like the truth. We don't like it. We walk around it. It sits in the middle, as Robert Frost would say, and knows. The secret knows it sits in the middle, and we just suppose by walking around it in a circle. We're great avoiders because the truth may not be what we like. It's an acquired taste, and we may have to change something. So our nervous systems put us into avoidance modes. Don't look at it. Avert its gaze. Don't tell yourself the truth. Don't be fluent in it. But we can fundamentally choose to be true to ourselves. So the game isn't about being a better person, because that would be an ideal or a standard, which would suggest that a person is not. Who but a person that needs to be a better person isn't one, right? Who but a person that needs to be construed or seen as smart is a person who thinks they're dumb. Who but a person that needs to justify how charismatic they are is someone who isn't. We do have negative beliefs about ourselves, and I'm not into reprogramming those beliefs. You don't need to. If you don't like something about you, you don't like something about you. There's nothing in the rule book that says that you're disqualified because you think you're unworthy. It's a belief. Now, in other practices, human potential, for example, it would suggest that these beliefs are looked at as foes, as enemies, that this is the work. But what I found is that the more that you as a leader are looking at yourself, the more that you're paying attention to yourself, the lousier creator you are. See, I love this question, like, how do I create a brand? I need to create a personal brand. And it really underlying the question is, I need people to look at me a certain way. And I ask myself, well, what's wrong with where you are? What's wrong with you? What is it that you don't have that you think a brand will help camouflage? Or what is it that the brand will help you do? And the game is, it's like an egotistical play in life. How do I want other people to see me? I want to organize other people's perceptions, which is to construe power. I have that much power over. So my answer is, you want to create a brand, tune out of where you are, who you are, how other people see you. Tune into where other people are. The brand is in being helpful. The brand is in being serviceful. The brand is in listening. The brand is in how you make people feel. The brand isn't about getting adulation. The brand isn't about getting recognition. The brand isn't about being visible. The brand is about dedicating your life, your heart, your service to the goodness of others, to value that you want to create for them, and not for positioning, right? It's to help. Now, and if you're going to help, be helpful, because help isn't something that someone can do for themselves. So if we want honest help, we have to look first at where the other is and understand them. So really, the brand is about getting clear or letting go of being a somebody and quitting the preoccupation with power, leaving that desk. Maybe it's spiritual maturity in the background here. Maybe it's growing up. Maybe it's just getting out of this whole thing about making sure other people know you, see you, watch you, notice you, notice you, notice you. Look at me, look at me, look at me. I grew up in an entertainment industry, with my parents. The whole modus operandi of the industry was look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me. I'm over here, I'm over here. I'm trying to be visible. But we're not visible if we're not listening, paying attention, letting other people shine, helping them. Not helping them by fixing them, not helping them because something's wrong with them, not helping them because there's deficiencies. We're serving them because they are already whole. They come with the thorns on the rose bush. They come with everything. The full package, just like you. So the first step to being a great leader is to be a human being. Yeah, to be a human being. To be human to your own humanness. And what that draws on is the humility, humus of the earth. Of the earth is to take the position of acceptance, real, honesty, authenticity. It's not to stand in some sort of presence to project an image. That's a false self-system. And you know, the people that catch on to that are those that smell the bullshit a mile away. Don't try to be an actor. Don't try to be an actress. Because when you try to make other people see things, you're acting in the version that you think they will like. It's called approval. And it's become an epidemic. We're so busy trying to get it, to get it, to get it, to get it. The underlying structure just continues to be, oh my goodness, if I'm not getting it, what does it all mean? If you want to get it, let go of this preoccupation with getting it. Give people choices. If they want to hang out with you, they want to hang out with you. And when you have other people be human beings too, they'll give you a lot more. They'll show you a lot more. They'll be more intimate with you. They'll offer you transparency. They'll be real with you, which is the gift. I believe that's the gift of what we really are after, is to be real. The greatest gift you can give your children is to be present, is to be real with them, to offer yourself in your truth. All of it. showing up as a whole person. So let go of this fear. Fear of humiliation is what drives all this. I'm not enough. Something in the world or in the social norms or advertising or brainwashing, or maybe your parents told you you had to run with their program. Whatever it is, whatever ripped you out of your soul, get the fuck out of the role. Put yourself into the soul. Forgive my French, but I mean it. We need people that are real. We need true hearts. We need those that are following their heart. We need those that are commanded in their goodness. We need people that understand what it is to move in their nature, their compassion and kindness and generosity. We need great people. We need to draft that kind of thing on earth. Those are the kind of folks. We all have it in us, but we have to strip away the other stuff, and what's left is this finer quality, like a pearl in the oyster, that's always been there. It's a restorative process. Let go of that voice of judgment. Choose it. Quit trusting the BS between the 6 inches between your ears. Quit assuming what other people think, because they're busy thinking about what you think about them anyway. It's a cosmic joke. And tune into where other people are, not where you want them to be. Be where they are, not where you want them to be. Listen to what I'm saying. You will never, ever run out of joy if you do this. And I think that's what you're really after. It's not about attention. It's not about admiration. It's about the joy. If you have that, then the other stuff just vaporizes. It doesn't stand a chance. Thank you.